last week, for large tracts of the country, we had dry conditions. However, in New South Wales, there were quite a few thunderstorms, especially for the Central Tableland. Bathurst collected 33 millimetres. But more recently, through the Northern Territory, we've seen showers and thunderstorms ramping up. Darwin did miss out yesterday, but nearby, some locations, including Middle Point, picked up 55 millimetres. And Charles Point also collected 23 millimetres. So quite a bit of lightning around, but no major totals in the Darwin area itself. Despite the fact that we were forecasting a fair bit of rain in that region, it just didn't quite manage to drop in Darwin itself. Today we've got more thunderstorms across the far north of the country. In fact, that's expected through the entirety of the week. But down through the southeast, we will start to see a little bit of precipitation moving through from about Thursday onwards. Initially, it won't be all that much, but into Friday, we'll see it ramping up, and that's connected to the cool change ending the heat wave Friday into the weekend across the southeast. So you can see that band of rain. We'll also have showers and thunderstorms along that edge as well. But it doesn't look amazingly heavy, but we will at least see some substantial rain for a few pockets. Let's take a look at the day-by-day totals. So across today, the focus is that far northern tropics of Queensland and also the Northern Territory top end, with some places picking up 30, 40, 50 millimetres for today, but those will be more isolated totals. Into tomorrow, we'll continue to see pretty much the same thing, but we will slowly see easing conditions for the Queensland tropics as we move through the next few days. So the showers will slowly be restricted to the far north of the state. Into Thursday, that's when we'll start to see a little bit of rain down through the southeast. Initially, 1 to 5 millimetres is that light shading there, but into Friday, we'll see the 5 to 10 millimetre bracket developing in far southern Victoria and also across most of Tasmania as well. Into Saturday, it will wrap around into New South Wales. A few showers and storms will actually be occurring along the ranges. That's not really indicated here by the forecast graphic there, but you can see a little bit more by Sunday is most likely to be on the northern ranges of New South Wales. We'll keep an eye on that in coming days, but the wrap up for the week looks pretty significant once again for the tropics. The darker shading there indicating 50 to 100 millimetres widespread, but it will be a fair bit more patchy due to thunderstorm activity, whilst down through the southeast you can see the heaviest falls look to be of around 10, maybe 20 millimetres in parts of Tasmania.
After a week of searing heat, our heat wave ends for the southeast over the weekend as our cold front comes through, finally cooling things down. It's also going to bring a few showers and thunderstorms as well. So we're going to see those temperatures dipping by 10 to 15 degrees or more in many areas, back down to average or even below it for some areas. We are going to see the change arriving for places like Adelaide and Melbourne a little bit earlier, so it's already cool by the time we get to Saturday. Temperatures down back into the 20s and a few showers lingering for you in Melbourne during the morning. Still staying hot in the mid-30s for Canberra and Sydney, but we'll see those temperatures drop by the time we get to Sunday, back down into the mid-20s. A beautiful sunny weekend for you in the west. Those temperatures well above average in Perth, 38 degrees, 8 above the average for this time of year. It's also looking mostly sunny in Brisbane with a top of 32 degrees.
With heatwave conditions building over the next few days across southeastern Australia and also through the west, it's important for many people to understand what the fire danger threat is like. And as you can see, the landscape across the country is exceedingly dry, especially over the inland areas. It's only some coastal areas and up through the east where we've got a bit of extra greenery lingering on. But let's have a look at the heat, which is pretty extreme in many areas. Let's have a look. So it's really building through the southeast of the country over the inland areas, but thankfully, notice the isobars are a fair way apart, so the winds are not all that strong across the southeast or through Western Australia for today. But we are still looking at some severe fire danger areas, including the Mount Lofty Ranges in South Australia, also through Esperance and for the West Pilbara and for the Exmouth Gulf Coast. But into tomorrow, that heat will build even further through the southeast, and the isobars will come slightly closer together, leading to increased winds. And so you can see that here with northern parts of Victoria, including the North Central District, and also quite a few regions in South Australia looking at severe fire danger. and also for parts of the west coast, particularly for the Gascoyne coast in Western Australia. But into Wednesday, that heat just lingers on in pretty much the same areas with dangerous fire weather conditions continuing. And you can see that here with the western parts of Victoria, also the mid-north and the Mount Lofty ranges continuing to see the dangerous fire weather. We'll see conditions easing back, particularly in terms of increased humidity through the southeast on Thursday and the temperatures dropping slightly. So it's not looking quite as dangerous, but the winds will pick up. So it's definitely not a day to be sneezed at, as we've still got severe fire danger there. But in Western Australia, that heat will really build and the winds will increase as well. And so we're looking at extreme fire danger over the Gascoyne and also for the Goldfields. Just recently, the Bureau of Meteorology have released a new report into the state of the climate. So essentially, they're looking at how our climate is changing over the past 20, 50, 100, even 150 years, and trying to work out what kind of trends we can ascertain. Now let's have a look at rainfall in particular today. So rainfall is extremely variable in Australia. From one year to the next, you can have completely different rainfall patterns across the country. However, you can notice an underlying trend in the climate. And one of those trends is that in southern Australia, it is starting to dry out, particularly in the cool season, whilst in northern Australia, it's actually getting a bit wetter over the long term. Now let's take Perth as an example of the drying trend in the south. 2018 was the wettest winter in 15 years, but even that winter was drier than usual. Let's take a look at how the past 20 years compares to the overall trend of 108 years of Bureau data. So over that 20-year period, you can see through the April to October period, so the cool season, we've got the driest period on record. So the driest 20-year spell in the past 108 years is this darker shading here through a large portion of the southwest land division, as well as parts of southeastern Australia and also in southern inland parts of Queensland. So over that period of time, we've noticed a substantial drying trend. So the climate is definitely changing across Australia, and for growing seasons through the south, unfortunately, we're seeing less rain.